Two nuclear-armed states on the cusp of a full-blown conflict. After India fired missiles into multiple locations in Pakistan-controlled territory, including its most populous province of Punjab, in what India's defence ministry termed precision strikes targeting terrorist camps, as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired an emergency cabinet meeting in New Delhi.
India exercised its right to respond and preempt as well as deter more such cross-border attacks. These actions were measured, non-escalatory, proportionate and responsible. They focused on dismantling the terrorist infrastructure and disabling terrorists likely to be sent across to India. It was deemed essential that the perpetrators and planners of the 22nd April attack be brought to justice. Despite a fortnight having passed since the attacks, there has been no demonstrable step from Pakistan to take action against the terrorist infrastructure on its territory or on territory under its control. Instead, all it has indulged in are denials and allegations.
Our eastern neighbor
Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif accused India of a blatant act of war and promised retaliation, as Islamabad claimed to have shot down a number of Indian aircraft during the attack.
Take all these steps that are necessary to defend its territorial integrity, sovereignty and honor of the country and its people. Pakistan remains a very responsible state. After the Pahalgam incident also, Pakistan offered that instead of putting allegations without evidence, there is a need for undertaking a transparent, independent inquiry by neutral inquiry. And so that's the way forward that we suggested, because we didn't see any shred of evidence on these allegations.
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressed his concern about Indian military operations across the line of control between Indian and Pakistani-controlled parts of Jammu and Kashmir, which serves as a de facto border between the nations. He warned that the world could not afford a military confrontation between these two powerhouse states that have been involved in periodic military standoffs over disputed Kashmir and cross-border terrorism as far back as 1947, and it remains one of the oldest disputes on the UN agenda. This was the Secretary-General on Monday.
Especially at this critical hour, to avoid a military confrontation that could easily spin out of control. Now is the time for maximum restraint and stepping back from the brink. That has been my message in my ongoing outreach with both countries. Make no mistake, a military solution is no solution. And I offer my good offices to both governments in the service of peace. The United Nations stands ready to support any initiative that promotes de-escalation, diplomacy, and the renewed commitment to peace.
Of State Marco Rubio said on X that he was monitoring the situation closely, echoing his president, who expressed hope the escalation would end quickly.
Just heard about it, just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
While neighboring state China also weighed in.
We express regret regarding India's military action early this morning and are concerned about the current escalation in the situation. India and Pakistan are inseparable neighbors, and both are also neighbors of China. China opposes all forms of terrorism and calls on both India and Pakistan to prioritize regional peace and stability, remain calm and restrained, and avoid actions that could further complicate the situation. We are working with the international community to continue playing a constructive role in easing the current tensions.
In a world populated by wars and conflicts, Ukraine, Gaza, Sudan, the DRC, to mention a few. Wars that exacerbate humanitarian needs, stretching finite resources, while compounding the suffering of civilians. in particular women and children. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.